Hey y'all, it's Jessica from Sloppy Swatches. Today I have a look at the Darling collection for spring 2021 from Zoya. I am a little bit late on these swatches, but they were sent to me for review and I do love them, so I wanted to share them with you guys, especially as Zoya's Earth Day promo is creeping up. So I'm going to go ahead and get right into it. I'm going to start off with Val, and Val is described as a relaxing mid-tone sky blue cream. So in terms of opacity, they have this one listed as a 2, where 1 is the most sheer, with 5 being the most opaque. So I thought it had a little bit better coverage than that. This first coat did go on a little bit streaky, but it does dry down fairly quickly. I'm going to go in with a quick second coat, and 2 coats is really all I needed for full coverage. I am rocking a little bit of shorter nails right now, but my visible nail line is pretty strong, and 2 coats was all I needed to cover it. So here's a look at that completed mani before even a glossy top coat. So this one does dry down beautifully glossy, really flattering, and perfect for spring. And then this is my final swatch photo at a different angle underneath artificial lighting. So next up is KAYLEIGH, and she is described as a calming light lilac, again listed as a 2 in terms of coverage. This is one of those that's really going to kind of almost take on a little bit of a pinky hue depending on the lighting, or more purple. Underneath my artificial ring lighting, this is pretty accurate, maybe a little bit lighter than it is in person. That first coat went on pretty smooth, a tiny bit streaky. I'm going to go ahead and let it dry down and then show you how it built up for me with a quick second coat. I do tend to go in a little bit heavier with Zoya cream polishes because I know they're not going to pull on me or run into my cuticles or anything like that. So 2 coats was full coverage for me. Here's a look at that completed mani at 2 coats before a glossy top coat underneath artificial ring lighting. Super flattering on my pink warm skin tone. And then this is my final swatch photo at an angle underneath that same artificial lighting. So next up is Mara, and she is described as a soft muted rose tone mauve color. So again, this is listed as a 2. This is a very like grown up nude. I really like how it looked on my skin tone though, so I'm gonna go ahead and show you today how it swatched for me. I'm not even using a base coat with these. Usually I go in with 1 coat of the Cutica strengthening base coat, but the Zoya creams don't tend to stain me, so I wasn't worried too much about that. 1 coat, again, a little bit streaky, but nice, easy to use formula. So that second coat does bring it to full coverage. You can see there as I'm using it, it is kind of drying on me. These do tend to dry fairly quickly. I think this is one of the few polishes of the collection that I really kind of benefited from going in for that quick third coat, and I think it was mainly due to my application method. So it's going to be a 2 or 3 coater depending on that. But here is a look at that completed mani at 3 coats before a glossy top coat underneath my artificial ring lighting. Super in love with this one. And then this is a final swatch photo at an angle under that same lighting. So next up is Tweedy, and this is more of like a happy punch of color. So she is described as a bright and uplifting bubblegum pink cream. So this is more of what I think of when I think of Zoya's spring. They usually come out with a really pretty pink. I don't feel like this one is like you need it. If you have a nice pink in your collection, you may not need to go for this one. That first coat did go on a little bit streaky. I'm going to let that dry and then show you how it built up for me the quick second. I think this is another that's really going to be kind of on the fence of being a 2 or 3 coater depending on your application method. If you prefer to go in thinner, I think this one is going to go closer to the edge of being a 3 coater. So I'm going to go ahead and let that dry down and then show you how it built up for me with a quick third coat. I did appreciate the finish of this one more with that third coat. It's not any issue. These always do dry down fairly quickly. So I think all in all, it took me like 5 minutes to do my mani. So there is a look at that. And then this is the final look at 3 coats before a glossy top coat underneath artificial ring lighting. You can see this is kind of giving me like an instant tan. I'm a huge fan of that. So this is my final swatch photo under an artificial lighting at a different angle. So next up is Ella, and this is going to be the top pick of the collection for me. So she is described as a refreshing coral cream with a kiss of pink undertones. So again, this is listed as a 2 in terms of coverage. That first coat went on nice and easy for me. Not a lot of streaking, but a little bit sheer. So I'm going to go ahead and complete this coat, let it dry down, and then show you how it built up for me with a quick second coat. You can see as I continue brushing, it did kind of pull down the stem a little bit and make for a thicker first coat. I'm not mad at that. As long as it goes exactly where I put it, I don't mind a thicker coat. So here's a look at that quick second coat. It did bring this to full coverage with a gorgeous glossy finish. So here's a look at that completed mani at 2 coats before a glossy top coat underneath my artificial ring lighting. And this one did great things for my skin tone as well. And then this is my final swatch photo at an angle underneath that same artificial lighting. So rounding out the collection today, I have Joyce, and this one is a heartbreaker, and I'll tell you why. Like, I swatched it, I put it on my toes, and then my bottle broke. So this is definitely one that I will be repurchasing. So Joyce is described as a juicy hot pink cream, again listed as a 2, so it does go on really juicy with that first coat. I had no problems with streaking or going on too thick though. 2 coats is going to really build up that finish. If you want to go 2 or 3 depending on your application method, this one is gorgeous for me in just 2. I've been wearing this on my toes for no lie like a month now, and I'm still obsessed with it. So here's a look at that completed mani at just 2 coats before a glossy top coat underneath my artificial ring lighting, and then this is my final swatch photo at an angle underneath that same lighting. Really, really fun for spring. So that does wrap up my swatch and review of the Darling collection for spring 2021 from Zoya. I'll go ahead and link that website down below. These are available right now, and be on the lookout for Zoya's Earth promo coming up soon. I will have the neon collection coming ASAP as well. It is on its way to me now. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.